from Cleveland Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, it's the Los Angeles Raiders versus the Cleveland Browns. Brought to you by Audi, the art of engineering. By Sony Browns. Good afternoon, everyone. Don CRIQUI with Bob Trumpy on an overcast day. Good for football in the 50s. The Browns have never beaten the Raiders here in Cleveland, and the Raiders, of course, a team that stirs strong emotions everywhere they play. They've been pointing to this game a long time in Cleveland, but to beat the Raiders, Trump, you've got to stop number 32, Marcus Allen.
He is a real treasure for the Los Angeles Raiders. In his last 46 games, 48 touchdowns. He averages about 120 yards rushing and receiving, and this is the guy that the Dogs have to beat up on today.
Well, the Cleveland Browns want to keep the Raider pass away from their outstanding young quarterback, Bernie Kosar, and to do that, Cleveland has to run the ball, and they've got the people that can do it.
Ball control with these two gentlemen, Ernest Biner and Kevin Mack. Between them, they average about 140 yards rushing per game. This is the second best rushing attack in the NFL. Washington is first.
Some 80,000 here at Cleveland Stadium. Tom Flores, a man who has 2 Super Bowl championship teams under his tenure as head coach of the Los Angeles Raiders. They don't like it here in Cleveland. Never been beaten here. The field's a little damp. Marty Schottenheimer has his team cooking right now. The Browns have won their last 3 games, and they're solely atop the AFC Central. Kickoff downfield. Barr hits it into the end zone, and Seal lets it go out. So the Raiders will go on offense, 1st and 10 at their 20-yard line. Mark Wilson, the Raider report on him is ankle's not 100%, his shoulder's not 100%, but he's 110% on guts, and he'll start today. Big, angry, lanky quarterback out of Brigham Young. There are the men he'll be throwing to and running the ball with. The offensive line, huge as always. They've shifted a lot of people, though. There have been injuries in the Raider offensive front. Marcus Allen aligned as the lone setback. Hawkins going in motion. The money back. Marcus Allen on 1st and 10. Gets some, not a lot. Bob Golick, the nose tackle for the Browns, made the tackle. A very tough defensive team. Golick in the middle. Reggie Camp is their best pass rusher. The linebackers on the outside in Chip Banks and Clay Matthews, 2 former Southern California Trojans. They have 2 Pro Bowl players, great players. Minifield and Dixon very strong at the corners, and Don Rogers, a 2nd-year player out of UCLA, is a real whammer at the safety position. Right now it's 2nd down and 8. Wilson to look. The completion, is it made? It appears to be out to the 38-yard line. An underthrown ball, but coming back at it was the rookie from Florida State, Jesse Hester, and so a 17-yard gain results. And Trump, the Raiders, a team that's had problems getting the ball way downfield, does so early.
Don, prior to the ball game and talking to Al Davis and Al Locasal of the Raiders, both reported that there are several guys in the black and silver with the flu. They don't know what effect it's going to have on the football team, but they were throwing up and having problems last night.
That was Jesse Hester's 14th reception of the season. Now the Raiders go back to the run. Straight ahead is Frank Hawkins, and the Browns don't give much up the middle. Frank Hawkins, 5th-year player out of Nevada, Reno, a power runner and primarily a blocker for Los Angeles.
Watch 56. Chip Banks almost plays his linebacker spot like a defensive lineman. Marty Schottenheimer's got to like this situation. The best part of his team starts the football game. That is his defense, nicknamed the Dogs here in Cleveland. Bark, as opposed to slap hands when they do something good.
Bark in that defensive huddle. They've been barking in the stands here at Cleveland. Now it's 2nd down and 7. Wilson's looking at Christensen. He's got him for another Raider 1st down, and he's not done till he gets to the 47-yard line. Might have gone a lot farther than 11 yards had not the footing betrayed him. Christensen with his 36th reception. He's the leading pass catcher for the Raiders again.
This is one of the things that I think will work against the Cleveland Brown defense. Short, very precise, and high percentage passing offense by the Cleveland Browns. Hanford Dixon on the tackle. They'll mark the receiver and not the shoe there. 1st down pickup.
49 games in a row now. Christensen's caught at least 1 pass for the Raiders. He'll probably catch a lot more. Marcus Allen takes it down to the 43-yard line. A straight up slashing runner with that great ability to cut like a quarter horse, but there wasn't much there. There hasn't been so far. Inside linebacker Filled and made the stop for Cleveland.
Cleveland Browns defense has only allowed one score in the first period so far this season.
Only allowed 7 touchdowns all season. They're tied with the Eagles as the lowest in the National Football League, each with 7 allowed so far. So the Raiders, who've been hitting on the long yardage plays, let's see what they do now on 2nd down and 8 with no score in the first quarter at sold out Cleveland Stadium. Marcus Allen going for the football, and Marcus Allen lost it at the 10, and there's a penalty marker down. Now there is not. That was just dropped. Clean play.
You see the ability. There's, I think, a beanbag dropped by the official. No, it's marked. It'll be 3rd down. Allen, this ball is thrown on the wrong side of the receiver. Wilson's got time. Now watch the adjustment that Allen makes. Back over his inside shoulder. That's an easy catch. Bounced right off face mask. He won't do that very often. One of the most sure-handed receivers in the NFL.
He is that. Comes in with 25 receptions, so the Raiders almost hit big, but now they go to 3rd and 8. Jesse Hester pays the price, but he holds on. See where they spot the ball. Hester had to get down to the 36-yard line of the Browns. He's going to be short of that.
Al Gross on the hit. Good coverage. Very high percentage pass by Mark Wilson. Obviously trying to keep the Browns defense off their quarterback. 1, 2, 3 steps and throws. That's a big tackle, and it does appear that the Raiders are going to go for it here on 4th down and about a yard.
Cleveland defense, as you know, Trump, the #1 defense in the American Conference, tested now, as will the Raider offensive line. Marcus Allen 8 yards off the line of scrimmage in the I set on 4th and a yard. Allen over the top, and he's down to the 35-yard line, and the Raiders drive on. Los Angeles coming off the ball with gusto there, and the great athlete Marcus Allen takes it over the top for the 1st down.
Oh, you see the root hog of the offensive line there for the Los Angeles Raiders, and gee whiz.
Talking about an athlete.
Bob Beeman there on the Fosbury flop for a 1st down. That's the 7th time the Los Angeles Raiders have gone on 4th down and inches. 3rd time they've made it, Don.
You know who that is? Al Davis looking on as the Raiders now on this opening drive have another 1st down. Wilson throws. They jam up Christensen. He looks for a foul call, but there's none.
There was contact. Eddie Johnson on one side, Al Gross on the other side. Johnson playing with a very bad knee. Christensen is aligned at the bottom of the screen. You'll see him at the top of the screen. You'll see him pop up there. Look at the contact all over the place, but no foul.
And Wilson is now 3 for 5, throwing the ball for 36 yards. So now the Raiders get down in 10 from the Cleveland 35. Allen. This looks like the Washington Super Bowl play, but it didn't go quite as far. That one was good for 79 and a touchdown. Marcus Allen cutting back, and there's no foul calls. Often there are in a broken play when the blocking changes. A 9-yard gain on the run, though, so it'll bring up 3rd and short for Los Angeles.
One of the best things about Marcus Allen, he never gives up on a play. You see it's closed on the left side. Now watch number 6, Mark Wilson. He's got a bad ankle, a bad knee, and a bad shoulder. In your picture, he's trying to make a block. He just kind of hook slides there to the 30-yard line. Allen picks up 9 yards, brings up 3rd down and very short.
10 minutes to play in the first quarter. The clock is running. There's no score on the board. Raiders started at their 20 on this opening drive. 3rd and 1. Hawkins hitting hard, and he gets ahead for another Raider 1st down to the 22. Big people on the right side of Blaston, Christensen, Lawrence, and Marvin. Felix Wright, an extra defensive back, made the stop for Cleveland.
The history of the Raiders that a quarterback is having the plays called from the sideline.
12th play of the drive coming up for Los Angeles. No score. Hawkins heading for the end zone, and Frank Hawkins goes in for a touchdown. The Browns defense had gone 24 consecutive home games without allowing a back to rush for more than 100 yards here at Cleveland Stadium, but the Raiders out running the ball very well, and Frank Hawkins on the payoff end of a very impressive drive.
The lead block, the best block, thrown by 32 Marcus Allen. Watch at the top of the screen. You see Allen right there just at the last moment gets the block. 21 yards on the carry. That is a very impressive opening drive by the Los Angeles Raiders.
And that certainly quiets a crowd of 80,000 at Cleveland Stadium. Now Chris Barr hits the extra point. Matt is the kicker for the Cleveland Browns. So the Raiders look good on the opening drive, and they take a 7-0 lead with 9:10 to play.
Game with a drive like the Los Angeles Raiders just had. Marcus Allen and Frank Hawkins there in tandem. The run by Hawkins, the block by Marcus Allen, 12 plays, 80 yards, 5 minutes and 50 seconds. And we'll show you another replay of that run with a tremendous block by Marcus Allen,
who really gained a claim at USC, blocking for Charles White the year he won the Heisman Trophy. Now Chris Barr ready to off for the Raiders. It's a high one downfield, not too deep though. And he'll have to do it over again from his 30 as it goes out of bounds. Let's watch the touchdown run again. Here it is.
From behind the defense, you'll see the little handoff to Hawkins. Now at the latter stages of this run, all of a sudden you'll see tremendous contact right there. Allen on Rodgers. 29 Dixon has got man-to-man bump and run coverage on Marcus Allen. He never saw Hawkins coming. 21 yards, 6 points. Top of the screen, watch again. Allen is covered by Dixon at the top. Dixon right in front of Hawkins is not looking at the running back at all. And suddenly Allen goes in with a tremendous block. By that time Hawkins is around Dixon, easy into the end zone. That's one of the problems with a bump and run. When you got to concentrate on the receiver out there, you don't watch the running play coming at you.
Well, Schottenheimer, the coach of the Browns, likes to say of his defense, we give up a lot of yards, but when it's on the line, we can be outstanding. But on that drive, the Raiders were one great-looking football team.
Hawkins was a lot of it, too. 3 carries, 29 yards, 21 on the touchdown run.
Glenn Young is the deep man for the Cleveland Browns in their receiving formation. Chris Barr was waived by the Cincinnati Bengals, went to the Raiders in '80, played in that team in January of '81 that won the Super Bowl. The boot downfield, and Glenn Young fields it at his 8. 20. And the Raiders come a hitting at the 25-yard line. So Bernie Kosar and the Cleveland offense come out for the first time. Kosar, the rookie from Miami at quarterback. Kevin Mack has been one of the top runners in the league this year, and Viner gets a lot of yards. Best receiver is the tight end Ozzie Newsome. The offensive line is not full of number ones. In fact, there aren't any, but this offensive line's taken pretty good care of the QBs. Only 14 sacks, just 1 in the last 4 games allowed.
Great run blockers, and that's what the Cleveland Browns want to do.
They really do. They've got to keep the Raider rush off Kosar, and to do that, they've got to maintain possession by jamming the ball at Los Angeles. They go to the run. Kevin Mack puts it up the middle, and he's out across the 35-yard line. And McElroy knocked him down, but Kevin Mack going straight ahead gets 10 yards. Long, Piquel, and Alzado, they're all outstanding. Long might be the best at his position in the league. Rod Martin is the blitzer, the sacker at right linebacker. You know about Hayes and Haynes, called the best pair of corners in the league, although the 2 on Cleveland, Menefield, Hanford, Dixon aren't far behind.
Hayes and Haynes, I think, impressed because they've been to Super Bowls. Menefield and Dixon are 2 excellent bump and run cornerbacks. Very strong, very intense. Both these teams also have excellent support safeties. All 4 are great tacklers.
Tim Spencer, Trump just ran for touchdown for the Chargers, and they now lead Minnesota 7-0. Houston on a Larry Moriarty run has gone in front of Cincinnati 7-0. Detroit up 7-0 on San Francisco. 49ers less at the moment, and Buffalo on Greg Bell's touchdown run is out in front of the Indianapolis Colts 7-0. Browns are the best team in the American Conference at running the ball, and the Raiders are the best in the conference at stopping the run, and that's what's coming right now in all probability on 2nd and inches. Yep. Kosar going to fire. Slap right back at him. Piquel was there. Rod Martin was coming up the middle on a blitz. Bill Piquel is really emerging as a top nose tackle.
Ozzie Newsome was the intended receiver. Wide open. Absolutely wide open. Defensive coaches teach their defensive players to, once they get into the offensive backfield, get your hands up. There's Piquel, hands up. He stops a sure completion to Ozzie Newsome.
So Piquel comes out as the Raiders change alignments now, and he's ready to go again, and so is Howard Long. They shift around. They'll bring Piquel in the middle now as they go to the Down line, third down in yards. McKell ready to move off Mike Babb, the center for the Browns. Offense straight ahead with the ball is a power back from Alabama, Johnny Davis, who got some. Looks like he's got the first down. Now let's go to NFL 85 and Bob Costas.
Don, San Diego has an early 7-0 lead at Minnesota, and look who helps out with the block. There he is, number 80, Kellen Winslow, his first action of the year. It helps Tim Spencer get in from the 2, and San Diego leads it in the first quarter, 7-0. Back to CRIQUI and Trumpy.
Thank you, Bob. We've got 7:44 to play here at Cleveland Stadium. 80,000 on hand. Now watch the Raiders, the team that they still remember so vividly, knocking the Browns out of the playoffs. And that January day in 1981. Browns have never beaten the Raiders here at Cleveland. Kosar, deep drop. Lame ball. It's up for grabs. It falls incomplete. As the Raiders come hard, Howie Long was busting up. 10 of receivers, Brian Brennan, but nobody holds out Howie Long, and sometimes he's triple teamed.
Long and Rod Martin. You can see Long jumps inside, picked up by Dan Fike. Hits his arm. Therefore, Kosar can't really follow through. Look at the contact here on the receiver. All over the field. The receiver almost makes a reception here. Boy, that's one for Cleveland. Throw it up like that, and it's not intercepted.
Let's see what they do now on 2nd down and 10. Kevin Mack to the 42. He got 4. Rod Martin knocked him down for Los Angeles with 7:14 to play in the first quarter, and still 7-0 count, the Raiders in the lead.
One of the things the Browns must do today is stay out of that 2nd and 3rd and long situation, because then you put a rookie quarterback, as gifted as Bernie Kosar may be and eventually turn out to be. Defenses can give him false reads, can make him throw into coverage, and of course with Kevin, with Howie Long, he's not going to have a lot of time to throw it. Now 3rd down and 8.
Bernie Kosar from the shotgun. He thinks big games are fun. We'll see how much fun he finds the Raiders. 3rd and 6. Go long. Clarence Weathers is out there, and he has the ball for the Browns at the 27-yard line of Los Angeles. So Kosar, who thrives on the blitz, as is a collegiate and through his early pro games, hits on a 34-yard throw against a full blitz right to Clarence Weathers, who's been a destroyer off the flank, maybe the smallest player on the field.
Last week he had 3 catches for 146 yards. All of that yardage came in the second half. Kosar throws off his back foot. Marty Schottenheimer told us last week prior to the Houston Oilers game he'd never seen a better long passer than Bernie Kosar.
And also, Trump, the Browns coaches were saying they hadn't seen a quarterback in years have a week of practice like Kosar's had. He's really looked sharp, and he'll have to against the LA defense. Kevin Mack goes to the run, and the best running team in the American Conference on 1st down moves the ball to about the 23-yard line of Los Angeles. Rod Martin was on the stop.
This is that breathless time of the football game for both teams. The Raiders take the ball down the field and score. Now the Browns need an answering drive. Started at their own 26-yard line. Big catch by Weathers. They can compete with Los Angeles if they can run the football.
Raiders are leading the game. They drove 80 yards with their opening possession to take a 7-0 lead. John Jefferson is now in the game. He's on the right flank. The former San Diego Charger and Green Bay Packer. That's Jefferson in motion. Kosar sprinting out, call play, throwing on the run, penalty marker down, incomplete pass, but the marker is down in the Raiders secondary. They're looking at Jefferson, who's yet to catch a pass since coming to Cleveland.
That's going to be on Mike Davis, I believe. Strong safety for the Raiders covering Ozzie Newsome. Their legs kind of got a little tangled up. Raiders don't mind that. They really don't mind that. With all the bump and run that they use, there's going to be contact, and they'd rather make the contact and take the chance that the official's not going to drop the flag.
7-0. First quarter, 5 play in it. Biner working hard, is down to the 16-yard line. Ernest Biner, a good back, low draft choice, a 10th rounder, but he's averaging over 4 yards a carry, has gained over 400 yards, as you see, and has been in the end zone 5 times, 4 on the run, once on a pass reception.
If Biner has a problem, it's just hanging on to the football. That's the only problem at He's out of East Carolina, who also produced Tony Collins, the gifted running back for the New England Patriots. And these two running backs for the Cleveland Browns, probably the least known running backs in the NFL.
Second down and 7 now for the Browns. Kosar, they pick up the blitz nicely. He releases. It's caught by Ozzie Newsome down at the 5-yard line.
What a throw.
The man who's caught more passes than any receiver in football over the last 6 years. Ozzie Newsome from Alabama comes down with an 11-yard reception. It's 1st and goal for Cleveland.
89 consecutive games for Ozzie. What a throw by Kosar. Completion.
Hurts less when you land on Rod Martineau. Raiders may have jumped as Biner takes it ahead down to the goal line. Browns getting a good surge in their offensive front as they take it again straight ahead on the run, but there was a penalty marker down. A Raider did leave early, but we'll see if he was drawn offside.
Interesting, neither offense treating the other team's defense with respect. And both teams came in here with great defenses. You're right. Defense offsides.
So the Browns looking now to tie the game, getting ready to challenge. Bang! Biner. Touchdown, Cleveland. Travis Tucker, a rookie, tied a slam block. Ricky Bolden was thumping. So was Ozzie Newsome. Now Matt Barr's on the field to try to tie it, which his brother hit the extra point earlier, and now it's Matt Barr putting up the 7th point for Cleveland. And so at 3 minutes and 9 seconds to play in the first quarter, the Browns and the Raiders are tied at 7. 80,000 here as the Browns pointing to this game for some weeks. Ready to kick it off again to Los Angeles. First possession for the Raiders was an 80-yard drive in 12 plays, with Hawkins going in for the opening touchdown of the game. 21 yards. Here's Sam Seal for Los Angeles. Penalty marker is thrown in as Sam Seal goes down at the 20-yard line.
All teams.
Mark Wilson and the Raiders set to begin their second drive as the Cardinals lead the Steelers 3-0. Marcus Allen taking a lot of helmets, a lot of hits. Maybe the #1 attribute of the great courage. A guy like Allen, who ran it 28 times last week, probably got hit 80 or 100 times in that game by different people. Allen 5 carries for 20 yards. There's at least 4 people pounding on him every play because they know where the ball's going most of the time.
Tackles that time made by Eddie Johnson and Tom Cousineau. Raiders gaining a lot of yards so far up that middle of that Dogs defense.
Mark Wilson gets some time and he gets it out, but he's too wide for Marcus Allen. Was defending, but he didn't really have to, as it was not near Marcus Allen. They're taking pretty good care of Wilson, though.
Yeah, you talk about a guy with no respect, though. He's the Rodney Dangerfield of the NFL. 16-9 as a starter, 3-0 in 1985. Watch Dokey Williams tell him to play from Tom Flores, but for some strange reason, he's never really been able to take over the starting job from that guy right there, Jim Plunkett.
His whole career has been filling in for an injured Jim Plunkett. Of course, Jim is out for the season with a shoulder separation. Mark Wilson was no unknown coming out of BYU, a #1 draft choice who set 11 NCAA passing records.
Not even close.
That time they put the big heat on. Bob Golick is really coming up the middle. The nose tackle for the Cleveland Browns. The big 200. Guy's a great placement punter, although here he'll just try to hit it as deep as he can. End over end punt, not too deep. Clarence Weathers comes up on the ball for Cleveland.
He's got it.
The chance runs out as he goes out of bounds at the 44-yard line of Los Angeles. Then a penalty marker came in. It was a 34-yard punt and a 4-yard return. Coverage by the Raiders, and Lester Hayes almost picks it up as they're going deep to Clarence Weathers. There is a marker down also in the Cleveland backfield. Weathers, in the opinion of the Raider coaches, has added a new dimension to the Cleveland offense because of his great deep speed. He really stretches a defense out, and then they've got the great short receiver in Newsome.
Late hit by the Raiders defensive line on Kosar. Automatic first down, 15 yards.
Good. So the Browns in this tie game 7-7 late in the first quarter get a first down inside the Los Angeles 40. Kevin Mack. Los Angeles fans might remember Kevin Mack playing for the Los Angeles Express. He came out of Clemson and one of the leading contenders in the Bo Jackson Bowl. Second down and 11 now for the Cleveland Browns. Kevin Mack runs the ball. He's very fast. He's 6 feet 212 pounds. Mack in high school he ran a 9.500 in South Carolina. He can break it long. I think that last time they at least threw to him was the first time in 4 games they've thrown to him. He's yet to catch one. Third down throw by Kosar in Cleveland. A long ball. He's got a man out there. And again, the Raiders are in good position. McElroy, the strong safety, ready to unload on Weathers. He saw that coming. So it brings up 4th down now, and Cleveland will punt the ball.
One of the few times you see the Los Angeles Raiders when they're not in bump and run. Even though at the top of the screen you see the guy at the line of scrimmage. Watch him. He'll let the receiver go on the outside. It's a well-conceived pattern. Weathers on the inside, breaks to the outside. Couldn't quite make the completion.
Interesting contrast here, Trump. Gossett has the punting averages you see in the NFL, and the man about to return it, Fulton Walker, the former Dolphin, has the best return average on punts in the American Conference, over 14 yards. Walker standing back at his 10-yard line. Jeff Gossett hits a high punt. Well placed.
Rocken's going to catch it.
Oh, no. Fell into the end zone for a touchback.
Almost a perfect play by Chris Rockens. That's something that teams are now practicing.
So the Raiders get it back at their 20 when week 10 from their 20. Game tied 7-7. 20 seconds to play first quarter. Marcus Allen takes it straight ahead, and he's out for a 5-yard gain. Cousineau, the inside linebacker, number 50, made the stop.
Almost a great play here by Chris Rockens. They'll practice this all week long, but unfortunately Rockens, looking up at the football, does not know where the goal line is. Trying to keep himself in fair territory there, but once his body hits the line, it's a touchback.
And that ends the first quarter with the game tied 7-all.
And the sand and dirt that they have there.
I'm not sure.
No, it is really
pretty loose. First and 10, second down and 5 now for the Raiders as Mark Wilson looks to Christensen. He's going to go for a first down and a lot more. Christensen, in the opinion of John Makovic, the coach of Kansas City, does the best job of any tight end in the league getting open legally.
He gets off the line first, which is a great talent that a tight end must have nowadays. 13 yards on the catch. One of the things when you face a defense that has bump and run on the outside, and Cleveland does, your inside receivers are going to be open, the running backs and the tight end.
Christensen moving out. He's a great hand fighter getting out the line of scrimmage. First down. Wilson looking deep. Airs it out. Christensen. And the big Raider is down to the 38-yard line of Cleveland. 22-yard gain as the Raiders strike on consecutive plays. Todd Christensen, 1 year after a holdout, very confident guy, was in his first scrimmage. He caught the ball at the feet of Al Davis and along the sideline with one hand. Got up without breaking a stride, ran back to the huddle and yelled back at Davis, "That's why I get the money."
3 catches now, 47 yards. And when he was with the Dallas Cowboys, he didn't want to play tight end. He wanted to play running back. Goes to the Raiders, and Al Davis didn't ask him. He told him, tight end.
Went to the Giants. He didn't want to play running back. All-pro player is a waiver acquisition. Marcus Allen, the main man in the Raider backfield, can't get anything started there as Eddie Johnson filled. Eddie Johnson, the inside linebacker, is the only guy of the 4 Cleveland linebackers who was not a high #1 draft choice. Banks, Cousineau, and Matthews all were, but Johnson plays like one. Rams going for a 7th consecutive win out in front of the Chiefs at Kansas City.
Eddie coming off the field. He's got that bad knee he got last week in the Astrodome on AstroTurf. Got a big brace on his left leg. Scott Nicholas now replaces him in the defensive lineup.
Mark Wilson looks over the Cleveland defense. 2nd and 10. Wilson in trouble. They're going to get him back at the 47. Ray Matthews, number 57, one of the great outside linebackers in football. The captain and most valuable player of the Browns defense.
30th sack the Raiders have allowed. You'll watch 57. They try to have Hawkins a running back on Matthews. That's a mismatch. No running back, in my estimation, in the NFL can handle Matthews or Banks on the blitz. First sack of the day for Cleveland.
A year ago, when Matthews was a consensus All-Pro, as Coach Schottenheimer said, he'd never seen a defensive player have a better year at any position.
Never gives up either.
6'2", 235. He had 12 sacks as a linebacker last year. So the Raiders with a big problem now. Third down and 23 coming up. Penalty markers down. Might be a hold in the backfield. That's what Carl Hairston of the Browns is signaling. Mark Wilson is down. Here's a guy that's playing on sheer courage. He has a bad ankle and a very bad shoulder, partially separated.
He came back last week after the separated shoulder. We got flags. The officials are going to talk. Is it going to be a late hit?
There was also a late flag over on the far side of the field. A flag. Raider backfield.
Offense holding 65. Defense holding 31. Wipe them out.
Called it a push.
You made mention of the fact how injured Mark Wilson is. I noticed that Ray Guy took several snaps in the warm-up, threw the ball a couple of times. You can see the one flag. We don't see the other. But Wilson got up. You see him put his helmet on. Put his helmet on. He could barely lift his left arm. That's a separated shoulder.
He had a tough day at the stadium last week. Not only did he suffer a separated shoulder to go along with a sprained ankle, but he was booed all afternoon. Might feel more at home on the road this week. Wilson's thrown 9 times, has completed 5 for 72 yards. Third down and 23. Hawkins gets it across midfield, but not a whole lot. Rodgers, who is a real striker at free safety, the AFC Defensive Rookie of the Year, made the hit. Number 20. Watch him come up.
Oh.
Temperature in the 50s. Overcast day, and the lights are on. Clarence Weathers back deep now for the Browns. Great hit. Penalty markers down. They might have hit Ray Guy. They very nearly got a block. It went into the end zone for a touchback. But the Raiders might get 4 new downs. Official threw a flag right at the feet of Ray Guy after he released the ball. A hold now signaled.
They called holding against the Cleveland Browns. Oh, holding against the Los Angeles Raiders.
So 48-yard punt that just carried into the end zone for a touchback. We'll see what the Browns elect to do here. They're sending Weathers back out to receive another one. They're going to make him re-kick.
That's one of the things you like about Ray Guy. He has such great athletic skills. It's hard to get a snap by him. Remember the Super Bowl?
They felt that turned the game that
That was absolutely.
Holding number 31. Decline of penalty. Touchback.
He's such a
7-7. Second quarter. 11:33 to play in it. Browns the run. Kevin Mack looking for a place to move, and he's struck down by Van McElroy. Strong safety for the Raiders. Kevin Mack. Dwayne Wilson for a Saints touchdown. 2nd and 7 for the Browns. All-pro play by Howie Long as he stuffs Kevin Mack. More and more, Trump, you hear everybody in the league talking about Howie Long as the preeminent his position, defensive end. You can't hold him out.
Most of the press he gets is for his pass rush. You can see here he can also play the run. Harry Holt, 81, was supposed to block Howie Long. He just follows the guard into the hole, and he's right there. Browns have run that delay sweep a great deal. Going to have to come up with another play. Notice too, Weathers comes off the field limping and limping badly, Don. That's their deep threat.
Browns now go 3rd and almost 13. They've converted 2 of 3 third downs earlier. Right now, Bernie Kosar wants to get some counsel from the sidelines with 10 minutes to play in the first half. Gain, big play ready to bust pretty soon, though, maybe.
Yeah, Don, I've been impressed with both teams' defenses after the opening drive for either offense. The defenses have kind of taken control of this game. One thing of note, Clarence Weathers on the sideline there. They're looking at his knee, and he's the Cleveland Browns' deep threat.
He's made the one big play for Cleveland, a 32-yard reception. It's going to hurt if he doesn't come back. Here's Kosar on 3rd and 13, going to the run, and Binders shut down by the Raiders. So the Browns have to punt the ball, and Los Angeles could get good field position. Jeff Gassett comes out. Raiders the best in the AFC at stopping the run. The Browns the best in the conference at running the ball.
So far the Raiders have won that battle. Browns have only gained about 30 yards rushing.
Fulton Walker is back at his 40-yard line for Los Angeles, and here's Gassett. Short one. Walker comes up on it. It's got some room to run. And he takes it inside the Browns 45-yard line. Just a 30-yard punt by Gassett. And a 7-yard return. So Gassett hasn't been doing the job for Cleveland, at least not in that one. His team solely atop its division for the first time in 5 years this late in the season. Marcus Allen gets the reception, and he's down inside the 30. They'll spot him out of bounds at the 29-yard line. A well-executed pass play. Slipped the sideline and made it a 15-yard gain. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Cleveland Browns and the National Football League is prohibited.
Great choice by Wilson with that bump and run defense of the Cleveland Browns. Running backs and tight ends going to be open underneath all day.
Raiders starting to mount a challenge now after that short punt. It's a 7-7 game. Marcus Allen with Hawk, lead blocker. He allowed him to turn the corner, and Allen is down to the 23-yard line. Al Gross, the strong safety, finally got him. Last week, Marcus Allen ran the ball 28 times for Los Angeles. All the other backs and the quarterbacks combined ran it for 5.
The thing you got to like about Marcus Allen is that he catches a pass on one side of the field on one play, runs the sweep on the other side of the field the next play. He is their offense. They're still trying to find that deep receiver like Cliff Branch was to get the ball down the field. Until then, they'll give it to 32 anyway.
Kenny King now comes in for Los Angeles, as you see, 2nd and 4. Hawkins taking people on. Cousineau struck him at midfield, right in the middle of the line, actually down the 22-yard line. So the Raiders come close to a first. 2 to go for the first down. Wilson 6 of 10 throwing the ball for the Raiders for 87 yards. Almost, but it brings up 4 as Christensen was hit with a well-timed blow by Eddie Johnson.
Great coverage by the Cleveland defensive backs. More of that bump and run. The wide receivers had no chance to be open. Christensen still almost makes his catch. Watch Eddie Johnson, 51. Well, that's Banks right there with Marcus Allen. Kind of run together. And Eddie Johnson does the cartwheel on Christensen. Can't make the catch. 4th down, and Barr tries a field goal.
Chris Barr ready for a 29-yard attempt. 39-yard attempt with a 10 into the end. The 29. He didn't get there.
Hit the upright.
Barr only 6 for 11 kicking field goals this season for the Raiders, so the drive is stopped and there's no points.
Realize that upright is 6 inches wide.
Teams went on long drives in their opening possessions to score. Hosar has the ball tipped, and very nearly Matt Millen in position to intercept, and there might be a hold on Cleveland. It's the only way you keep Howie Long out, and they didn't even do that.
Now they got to start keeping a back in there just to help the offensive line. The Cleveland offensive line has allowed 1 sack in the last 4 games.
This really takes an offense out of its game now. It's a killer holding.
10 yards.
We were told the Browns were going to sprint out a lot away from Howie Long's side. They'd only done it a couple times. Now on 1st down and 20, they and get nothing at all as Kevin Mack is stuffed at the line. And we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
WVIT Channel 30, New Britain, Hartford, Waterbury, New Haven.
We're at Cleveland Stadium. 80,000 are here. The Browns already have had an 80,000 house for the Pittsburgh game. They could have one next week when Washington comes in. Now, they've really sold this one out a long time ago as the Raiders, a team they've never beaten at Cleveland, come back with those memories, almost 5 years old, but in the minds of all the Brown fans, the loss in the playoff game on that bitter cold day when Mike Davis intercepted Brian Sipe in January of '81. Now Kosar's at the controls of Cleveland. He fires. A penalty marker's down. as the completion is out to the 20-yard line. Ozzie Newsome, the tight end, caught the ball. He led all AFC receivers a year ago, did Ozzie Newsome, with 89 catches. Yes, but they've been struggling. They still haven't found a personality. But now, right, these penalty calls against the Browns are going to put the Raiders in scoring position before long, because unless Cleveland hits a big one to get a first down, they're going to have to punt the ball in good field position to Los Angeles with 7:10 to play in the first half, and the game's still tied 7-7. Ryan Brennan and Glenn Young are wide receivers. All-out rush coming from the Raiders now. Kosar goes to the run, and Kevin Mack gets out just across the 10-yard line to the 11. It'll bring up Sean Jones, a big pass rusher, in, makes the stop on the running play. Options are limited here for Kosar. He's not going to have much time if he goes into his end zone to throw. The Raiders with 29 sacks already this season. They're top in the American Conference, and they were top a year ago, and they had 64.
I'd look for a tight end screen here. You're going to get a lot of deep drops by Los Angeles Raiders defensive backs and linebackers. A good pass rush by the front four. You might find Newsome available on a screen.
Kosar still only put 5 balls up today. Completed 2 for 43 yards. The 131-yarder to Clarence Weathers. Biner tries to run, and he is stopped cold. Sean Jones got him. So now we have a moment. Let's go back to NFL. Cleveland beat Houston a week ago. They've been struggling, but now a big win perhaps on the way. Here's a punt downfield, crosses the 45-yard line of Cleveland. Fulton Walker comes up on it. A 37-yard punt is the ruling. Gossett not being very warm here in Cleveland. He's not been hitting the ball well.
Coming at the yard line.
Wilson, he's hurting, but he's working, and he goes deep. Doki Williams almost had it. The sprinter from UCLA, and now we might have a foul call on
the offense.
Yeah, that's who it's going to go against. They try this Minifield, a little corner, number 31. He's only about 5'8", but he's got a 44-inch vertical leap. It's what that basketball star of some time ago, Thompson, used to have. So you can throw on him and throw high on him, but he can go up and get it. But that's where it stood. Raiders missing a 39-yard field goal their last possession. It's still a 7-7 game. Marcus Allen takes it across the 45-yard line on a 1st and 20 play. He got back about 7. Cousineau knocked him down. Marcus Allen, a young man who's known the heights. The Heisman Trophy winner in '81. Super Bowl most valuable player. The main man in the Raider offense.
Did a good job, too, of just kind of bouncing through that hole and finally getting his feet on the ground. That's a good pickup.
So collegiate Marcus Allen set an NCAA record, running for over 2,300 yards as a senior. Wilson looks, and he's looking at Marcus Allen. A free ball. It's incomplete.
Another flag thrown very late.
And Doki Williams again. Minifield at least thinks they are. Well, we'll find out. Now they're walking towards Cleveland. It's Doki Williams, the sprinter from UCLA, called on a pushing foul a little bit ago, and another one was thrown in his area. Browns are signaling their bench. It's going to be against the Raiders.
The officials are talking it out, try to find out exactly. Personal foul, Los Angeles. Certain amount of frustration there when a receiver can't get open. All that hand fighting with the bump and run.
Be flat. Crowd really starts up, and there's 80,000 here backing the Browns. Allen gets across the 35-yard line, but Cleveland shuts down the run. So now the Browns will get it back with 4:25 to play in the first half.
That drive netted the Los Angeles Raiders a minus 20 yards.
2 personal fouls in the same drive against. One was a pushing foul. The other just a personal foul call for hitting at a defensive back. So Ray Guy's on the field to punt, and back deep now for the Cleveland Browns is Brian Brennan, a former All-American at Boston College, a small wide receiver but very quick. Liken him to Steve Largent. Beautiful hit by Ray Guy. Brennan gonna let it roll. And the Raiders are going to get it down at the 2-yard line. Cleveland.
That sod is so soft, Don. And when that ball hit, it just died. Absolutely died.
Now what can Bernie Kosar do here? He'll probably try to run it out with one of those big backs aligned in the eye behind him. Biner, the fullback, takes it to the 5-yard line. Now let's go to Bob Costa. Takes.
Kreider's a guy like that. He can do a lot of things for you. Jefferson back in the ball game now for the Browns, still awaiting his first reception as a Brown.
2nd down and 7 now for Cleveland. Beautiful loop pass. Kevin Mack has the ball. He's across the 25, taking on tacklers. He's out to the 30, and there's a penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage.
It'll come back. Ozzie Newsome, 82. He moved early.
Wow.
That wasn't as much a pass as it was kind of a
flag on.
He led him perfectly, though, but
yes, he did.
To no avail, as misfire at the line of scrimmage cost the Browns a big gain and would have gotten them out of trouble. This is a pass a lot of. Hogaboom to Dorsett for the Dallas touchdown. A field goal by McFadden of the Eagles makes it 7-3 Cowboys. Kosar goes to the run on 2nd and 9, and the Raiders don't give much. Millen filling. Rod Martin was there. So was McElroy.
In my estimation, the Raider defense should take timeouts here. The offense can stop the clock. The defense can't. I think they're doing the Cleveland Browns a favor.
Some thunderous hits administered, particularly down on the goal line. Either way, when the people are just blasting straight ahead on the zone blocking, and we're going to hear the music of NFL during the AFC West. Seattle and Denver all at 4-2 coming in. Hook up with the Browns, the sole leader of the AFC Central at 4-2. Kosar, long ball. Jefferson comes. He can't come down with the ball. John Jefferson almost had a big one, but he comes up empty, coming down.
Mike Haynes and Van McElroy in coverage. This is as close as he's come. One, a very gutty call by the Cleveland offense. Even with the pass rush of the Los Angeles Raiders, Bernie stands back there. This is well thrown. When JJ leaves his feet, can't really control the ball. 4th down.
And the Raiders, with 1:54 on the first half clock, could get very good field position. Another poor punt.
Oh.
Fulton Walker takes it at the Cleveland 41. Browns come sticking on special teams. He's been averaging 14 yards a return, but the punting of Gossett has been abysmal. First half. Mark Wilson working at quarterback. Hawkins and Marcus Allen his runners. Jesse Hester, wide receiver speed to the left. He's running deep. But the ball goes to Marcus Allen, who loses one DB and takes it inside the 25-yard line. Al Gross, the strong safety, tried to get him, and Marcus beat him with a shoulder deke and went ahead for a 16-yard gain for the Raiders and stops the clock.
He's such a threat. He's simply an outlet receiver here, but this ball is thrown about 4 yards deep, and he turns it into about 16 or 17-yard gain. That's what you want. Let him stop there dead. Cousineau drags him out of bounds, stops the clock. 1st down Raiders.
Always a threat to throw the ball, although now when he catches a pass. And in the backfield, Marcus Allen is a very good high school quarterback. Lincoln High in San Diego. There's a big play. Carl Hairston, a former Eagle, comes up to make the stop on Allen as you see the game clock winding down to 1:26, where it's stopped by a Raider timeout.
On the touchdown run by Hawkins.
First touchdown of the game, a 21-yard run by Frank Hawkins, with Allen keying the way with a block. And here now is Wilson throwing. Christensen is down inside the 15-yard line, where he's knocked down by Al Gross.
Going to the line of scrimmage. Play already called, or Wilson will call it at the line of scrimmage. Plenty of time, no reason to panic. Doki
Williams on the right flank. Hawkins gets it down to the 10, so the Raiders are right straight ahead in very excellent field goal position, but still a lot of time left as they stop the clock with 59 seconds to play in the first half. First half, and a tie game, 7-7. Schottenheimer's Browns, number 1 in the AFC on defense, digging in. First and 10. Wilson throws, and Don Rogers had a hand on the ball. They were looking again at Todd Christian. Second down. Raiders have been the best to beat the clock. Wilson right now has completed 8 of 15 for 111. Christensen's caught 4 for 56. Second down. Touchdown. Marcus Allen comes down with the ball, and the Raiders break the tie as Marcus Allen, who among other things was an all-state basketball player, shows that rebound ability going to take it down.
That's his 49th catch, touchdown, scored in 47 games. He ran an out and up.
And I'll tell you, Trump, you know, they talk about pass offense starting with pass blocking. That Raider front has taken care of Wilson. They know he's hurt. They gave him time.
That's his third catch of the day now, 41 yards and that touchdown, 11 yards on that catch. Kid can do everything. Probably can kick extra points too.
The more he gets it, the more he likes it. He'll carry it every play if they want him to. Great durability. Now with 48 seconds left to play in the first half, the Raiders break the tie on the touchdown throw. Mark Wilson to Marcus Allen. It's a 14-7 game Los Angeles.
Thing you that number. If I were a running back in the NFL, I'd want that number.
Okay, you got to be awful good to wear, don't you?
He's good.
He's upheld the 2 over the years, the Jim Brown number, O.J. Simpson, and here's the kick to Glenn Young of the Cleveland Browns. He's a slasher, and he almost broke it. Woo, he got to the 24. Big play by Travis Tucker on a block for the Cleveland Browns. Jeff Barnes came down to make the tackle for Los Angeles.
This is a zone coverage by the Cleveland Browns. You can see Eddie Johnson, 51, dropping back there, just reading the eyes of the quarterback. This is all Wilson and Allen. He gets into the end zone, comes down the ball. Minifield had no chance. There appeared to be, there should have been underneath coverage there to help out. There.
Now the Browns in their 2-minute offense with only 44 seconds on the clock go right to the shotgun on first down. Miner runs, and the hit is made, and it was a beauty by Rod Martin, a Pro Bowl linebacker.
Don, we set the
Browns fans booing as Cleveland is going to go to the locker room without running any more. Flores and the Raiders have to be happy. They don't like to come to chilly weather. And even though they've won here every time they play, they don't particularly like this stadium. Not with 80,000 people rooting against them and a very good Cleveland team. But the Raiders have stood tall in the first half, playing sound football, coming up with some big drives when they had to, including the opening one and then the last one of the half, when Mark Wilson brought them into the end zone with that touchdown throw to Marcus Allen. So
be open section off of it.
Here's Chris Barr kicking off a spinning kick taken by Glenn Young. He'll go to the 22-24 yard line, still working on it. Maybe got to the 25. Kosar's passing numbers also, Trump, weren't very happy for the Cleveland fans.
2 of 6, just 43 yards as a comparison. Mark Wilson, even though injured, 9 of 16, 123 yards and a touch. But the Browns are still in the ballgame, down just 7 points. But they've got to be able to run the football. This is a very similar half to the half that they had last week against Houston. Don, would you agree?
Yep, and I recall very vividly the first pass that Kosar threw in the second half was a 68-yard touchdown to Clarence Weathers. Weathers right now is troubled by a leg injury. He's not in the game. Glenn Young is on the left flank, and Brian Brennan's on the right to the lower portion of your screen. First down and 10 for Cleveland. Goes long just like a week ago, but comes up short. Second down and 10 for the Browns. He's looking at Glenn Young, a third-year player from Mississippi State, primarily a kick returner.
Reggie McKenzie on the coverage there. Ernie now 2 of 7. You need better stats out of your quarterback than that, regardless of the problems your offense is having in the first half. Young was open, should have got the ball to him there.
Haven't called Lyle Alzate a lot. Played for the Browns. Couldn't run for much here. Except for the exits, the fans really got on the last time he came in. Here's a handoff straight ahead, and across to the 30-yard line goes Kevin Mack of the Browns, and Matt Millens knocked him down for the Raiders on the play with 14:33 to play.
He came into the game averaging 5.1 yards per carry. Has not been close to that today.
Alzado really is an amazing athlete, though. 15th year. They talk about the legs being the first thing to go. Usually it's the enthusiasm. He still has that.
No, he can still play. He's the old man. He's the teacher for Sean Jones, giant defensive end. Raiders like Lyle Alzado. He's their type of person.
And a winning player for him. Now 3rd and 7, and Kosar from the shotgun. Big rush, and Townsend knocks him down. It's a sack back of the 21. Greg Townsend, a third player with tremendous takeoff speed. Very quick. One of the fastest Raiders, certainly the fastest defensive lineman. He just ran by the blocker.
This is the first sack the Cleveland Browns have allowed today. They protected Kosar and Danielson very well, but that's more because it's a very short passing game. You can't run it. You can't run that high percentage passing game. That's what's happened to Cleveland.
Here's Gossett, whose punting has been a very negative stat for the Browns. This time he hits a good one downfield, and Fulton Walker finishes it as 34. So Gossett, the young punter who had his problems connecting in the first half, hits a 44-yarder, and as you see, no return. So the Raiders go on offense for the first time in the third quarter. They'll have the ball at their 34-yard line, leading the game 14-7.
A chance to put more points on the board.
Allen might be getting the ball. He said something to Wilson when they broke the huddle. Marcus Allen, the sprint draw. Stock play in the Raider arsenal, and it carries Marcus Allen out across the line to the 42. Allen waits a step and then takes off on the quick draw.
Don Rogers on the tackle, and of course when you hear the name of the safeties making awful lots of tackles, you know that the defensive line is not doing their job.
Browns defensive coordinator Tom Betta says we don't blitz a lot because we've got such good people. We don't have to. We play a straight up defense. Raiders playing one of their best games this season, maybe the best since the Jets game in the opener. Here's a handoff, and Marcus Allen in open field inside the 35-yard line. Sees there's no further road, and he takes it out of bounds for a 15-yard gain, and the Raiders start to challenge again.
Watch Don Rogers. He's the safety. They catch the defense in a shift. Power the formation went one side. Hawkins with a great block. Number 27, Allen out there. Boy, he floats, doesn't he? 15-yard run. Remember, the Cleveland Browns have not allowed a running back to rush for 100 yards in 24 straight games, this being the 25th. He's now got 63 yards.
Over 40 yards catching the ball. He's over 100 for the day. Won't get anything here, though. Defensive end Reggie Camp comes up to get Marcus Allen in the Raider backfield. The knockdown will be made outside the Cleveland 45-yard line. They'll spot it right at the 45.
Didn't look like Reggie was touched by anybody. It's a pull. Camp just comes in from behind the pull there to make the tackle.
Nobody gets very much against this Cleveland defense, but the Raiders today using a lot of different plays. Same people getting the ball, but different ways. Right now the Raiders have a 14-7 lead. Wilson throws, and Christensen comes up with the ball. There's a marker down both in the backfield and where Christensen caught it. He said he got it. Roughing the passer. Took a shot at Wilson, did the Cleveland Browns, and Ben Drake to call it.
And I think the other flag is on Cleveland too. Going to be pass interference against Al Gross.
Stopping the clock with 12:02 to play in the third quarter.
Both against Cleveland. They'll take the one that cost them the most yards.
Defensive pass interference declined. Roughing the passer will be accepted. 15 yards and a first down.
Now, one of the problems that tight ends now face because of the bump and run coverage on the outside, the release off the line, and the contact made by people down the line. You see Eddie Johnson on the inside, Gross on the outside, hand on the jersey. See him, he's just kind of leading the defensive backfield there. Contact, first down, Raiders.
So the Raiders have quieted this crowd now. That penalty took something away from the Browns, and here's Wilson going back to his ace. Marcus Allen heading back the other way. Look at the blockers form, and finally Allen is chopped to the 36. There was a channel of blockers on the far side when he cut back, but Eddie Johnson, the inside linebacker, split him and got through for a 5-yard knockdown. A loss on the play.
Mark Wilson once again trying to make a block, but he thinks, wait a minute, what am I doing here? Watch when Allen cuts back. You'll see Mark Wilson just kind of dive down to the ground there to avoid contact. Gets in somebody's way. Well, that's about as good a block as you'll see from a quarterback in any game.
Good second look. Our producer today for NBC Sports is Kenneth Edmondson. Our director Richard Klein. Ted Nathanson, the coordinating producer of NBC Football, here to see this big game as the Raiders go long, and the ball is broken up inside the 5-yard line. Dokey Williams was on the, and Frank Minifield, the little guy who can go up, knocked it down.
Great coverage. One of the things you'll notice here that Minifield does, he gets himself between the receiver and the quarterback. Watch at the top of the screen. He makes sure that if the ball is going to complete, it's got to go through him. See, he's right inside the receiver. Perfect position by Frank Minifield. He's able to just tip it away.
Raiders only 7 on third down conversions in the first half. Let's see what they do now. They have 3rd and long, 3rd and 15. Raiders lead the game 14-7. Well thrown ball, but Dokey Williams was a little late turning back to look at it, so it comes up incomplete, and Ray Guy comes out to punt the ball for Los Angeles.
And for Dixon in coverage there. At the bottom of the screen, right in front of us here, you'll see the hand-to-hand combat, and right now the ball is thrown. Get your head around. He does get his head around, but he can't get his hands up. That was a well-thrown ball by Wilson, and should have been caught by Dokey Williams.
Ray Guy, a great placement punter. Punted 10 times last week against New Orleans. 5 of those went out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. Angles far sideline. It's a spiral deep. They're going to spout it out of bounds.
5-yard line. Great kick.
Boy, this guy's something.
1st and 95 for the Cleveland Browns. What a weapon.
13th year, Ray Guy doing it better than ever. Into the action, Don CRIQUI with Bob Trumpy. Browns have the ball, but they have it in a problem area at their 5-yard line, trailing the Raiders 14-7 in the 3rd quarter. Kosar swings it out. That was the play to Mack earlier that was called back. You'll remember in the first half. Mack is out to the, so he gets out of jail. 15-yard gain for the Browns.
Great call. But in big games like this, look where they've started and what's happened for the Cleveland Browns. Field position has been absolutely terrible for Cleveland throughout this football game.
That first one, of course, after the opening touchdown drive. First time the Browns got their hands on the ball. That's their last 5 possessions.
Run the ball, and they got to run it with consistency.
John Jefferson at the top of your screen has yet to catch a ball as a Cleveland Brown. They're going to look at him before long. This time they go to Kevin Mack on the run. And the Raiders come hitting again, make the knockdown at the 24-yard line.
That's vintage Raiders. Not late, but almost late.
Just on time.
Piling on. That's what builds the reputation of the Los Angeles Raiders. This is a good pickup by the Cleveland Browns, about 4 yards. McKenzie holds him up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And wait, 6.
That brings up 2nd down and 6 now for the Browns. They're looking long. Kosar fires far flank, makes the connection with Ozzie Newsome. It looks like a first down. It is out to the 33-yard line. Trump, we've talked about the Browns having to run to get in this game. I think the Raiders are going to stuff their run all day because they've done it so far.
9 yards on the catch. But Don, the thing that sets up the Cleveland Brown offense, you've got to hold those linebackers at the line of scrimmage to free people like Ozzie Newsome. You do have to establish control of the line of scrimmage, and that you can only do by running the football, and that's what Marty Schottenheimer wants his offense to accomplish.
And you've got to get the ball in the hands of your all-pro players, and Ozzie Newsome is one of them. Consensus all-pro tight end. Got 2 today for 20 yards. Goes to look. Here's a big rush. He fires. Oh, there's a penalty marker and a well-called one. Harry Holt, number 81, a former all-pro player in Canada, was held by Mike Davis before the ball came in.
He did a great job, too, Holt did. When he turned around to look back at Kozar, he realized where Davis was behind him, and he held his position. He didn't move. And, of course, in lunging out to the football, Davis had to go through the receiver to get it.
Defense, 36 pass interference. First down.
So the penalty is 12 yards against the Raiders.
Now watch at the top of the screen. Watch him hold his position. You see the contact there, Davis? He holds his position. See there? Great job by Holt. And then at the last moment he dives out. That causes the interference. Very smart play by the young man out of Canada.
Mike Davis, they'll never forget the play he made here, though, in Cleveland, January 4th, 1981. He stopped the Browns in a playoff game with that end zone interception when the temperature was about 40 degrees below zero at the chill factor. The rest, as they say, is history. The Raiders went out Philadelphia in Super Bowl 15. Now, though, it's first down for Cleveland. Fake the reverse. Kevin Mack takes it ahead. He gets about 8. Out across the 50-yard line down to the Raider 48. First time that play's been called today.
Well, they're moving it around, calling a lot of different formations. Got a hole in the Raiders at the line of scrimmage.
Scoreboard changing. The Steelers were down 3-0. Badly in need of a win. Now they've roared back. Buffalo yet to win a game. Might today. Sold 22,000 tickets to that one.
That's all?
That was all. The city that led the NFL in attendance not that many years ago averaged 80,000 a game one year. So 79 and change. You don't win, they don't show. Second down and 4 now for the Browns. Kevin Mack didn't get much. Nice play by Matt Millen, who shot the gap, made the first hit for Los Angeles as the knockdown was at the 46-yard line of the Raiders. And the game clock shows 7:45 in the third quarter. Trump?
Raiders have done an outstanding job against what I think is a much improved offensive team in the Cleveland Browns. They've just about totally shut down the running offense of the Cleveland Browns.
Marty Schottenheimer putting the ball in the hands of a young starting pitcher, Bernie Kosar. Ozzie Newsome said when Kosar came in the game for the first time in regular season, he came into the huddle with a big smile on his face. He said right away it was his huddle. You knew the guy was going to do something for you. Brought the Browns from behind last week. He'll have to do it again. He can. The long ball. Ozzie Newsome's out there. Very nearly interference. Newsome's looking for a call and doesn't get one.
This is the part of the game that has changed so much in 1985. If that defensive back can look back at the quarterback, there's an awful lot of contact that's allowed. Inside release. Watch Davis. See his left arm go up there?
Yep.
But his head is back.
Perfect coverage.
So the officials say, hey, they're both going for the football. That rule, in my estimation, has been hard to enforce by the.
But Davis certainly was looking back at it, so they couldn't fault him. And now Gossett's on the field to punt the ball for Cleveland, and Fulton Walker's back at his 10-yard line for Los Angeles. Angle punt near side. Could be trouble for the Raiders. It is. Ball's not 9-yard lines down, and that's where the LA Raiders go on offense, 1st and 10. Still 14-7 Raiders, and we marker on that punt by Gossett that was down to the 9-yard line. Legal man for the Browns, so they had a repunt. Next one was a 39-yarder with no return that carried down to the 17-yard line of the Raiders. That's where Mark Wilson will go with his offense, 1st and 10, after he consults with head coach Tom Flores. Flores now in his 7th year as the Raider coach.
Not in big games like this, field position so vitally important to winning. This is the first time that the Los Angeles Raiders have had the ball back inside their 20 that I can remember today.
It's a doubleheader day on NBC Sports. The Jets are rolling, and the AFC East play at New England today. Seattle and Denver, two of the other co-leaders in the AFC West, along with the Raiders, match their 4-2 records at Mile High Stadium. We have 6:52 to play in the third quarter here at Cleveland. The Raiders lead the game 14-7 and have the ball 1st and 10.
Wilson gets the Johnson & Johnson Award this week. There's the
dogs.
That's the dog pound. They're all barking down there. Wilson, with all his injuries, playing the way he's playing.
The dog house.
The dog house.
But the Raiders have been no dogs here today. They've played very sound football on both sides. Set it up 1st and 10. Allen. He got 5. Free safety Don Rogers tackled him. Jim Plunkett, the longtime Raider, in his 15th year, but he'll not play again this season, going out with the shoulder injury. Plunkett, a lot of people forget. A lot of people didn't know this guy was a great linebacker in high school. He's an all-state linebacker in California.
He's got the size.
All-state wrestler. But now he can only look on as another less injured quarterback, Mark Wilson, directs the Raiders, and quite well. A long ball. Dokey Williams, he's there. And Williams is down to the 40-yard line of the Cleveland Browns. Al Gross saved a touchdown, but bad shoulder and all. Mark Wilson drills a tight roll for a 38-yard gain.
That was a tremendous throw in between two receivers. It looked like a double rotation zone. Corner up, safety over. Watch him put it right in between the two. Boy, that's a great catch and an excellent pattern run by Dokey Williams. Al Gross on the coverage. The Raiders have just gotten their offense together today. This is an outstanding defense by the Cleveland Browns. The Raiders have not paid a lot of respect to it.
I want to get you to explain a double rotation. Those of us didn't go to MIT.
I will tell you.
Pitch back. Marcus Allen lost the ball. Browns have it, I think. They do. Cousineau. This team, they're not going to beat him running. Biner takes the ball ahead for 3 yards to the 50. But as you pointed out, Trump, you've got to keep those linebackers in position. If they can drop back in pass coverage and they know you're going to you're trying to complete against 8.
Yeah, the thing that the Cleveland Browns must remember, they're still squarely in this ball game, down by just a touchdown. And you can still keep the ball on the ground and influence that Raider defense, and influence it a lot, and that opens up the pass game. There's no reason to go out of the offensive game plan for the Browns yet.
Very big turn of events. The fumbled pitch back by Marcus Allen, and the Raider drive is stopped, and now the Cleveland Browns, trailing by 7, have the ball in the quarter. 4:34 to play, and the clock running. Kosar takes a look, gets some time, guns it up the middle, and he's incomplete. Here's Marcus down all over.
Lester Hayes will have the flag thrown on him.
Lester, I take no prisoner Hayes. He's holding Brian Brennan's uniform.
How many holding or pass interference penalties have we had against the Raiders today?
More than they like.
That's a first down.
So 2 big plays now. The fumble recovery, and here's the defensive foul against Lester Hayes, and the Browns, when what was an incomplete pass, instead get a first down at the Raider 45.
That defensive pass interference or illegal use of the hands by the Raiders has been the Browns' biggest play of the day.
Right.
It's happened several times.
Kosar has been a great deep thrower his whole career. Right now, he has a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line of Los Angeles. Raiders lead 14-7 third quarter. Pitch back. Biner, open field. And Ernest Biner from East Carolina takes the ball down to the 31-yard line of the Raiders for a Cleveland Brown first down.
As it starts to rain here in Cleveland,
Hard.
no matter how they run the ball, Don, they've got to run the ball. Defenses are taught, once the quarterback goes by the deepest running back, look at that rain coming down in sheets. Linebackers are taught that once the quarterback goes the deepest running back, you drop in coverage. But in that particular instance, Bernie dropped back, just a little shovel pass forward. If Biner drops it, it's just an incomplete pass. Good call.
Now they go again. First down and 10 for Cleveland. 32-yard line of Los Angeles. Browns down by 7. Kosar loops one out, and there's nothing but Raiders nearest to it.
Who was he throwing it to?
I think he was looking at John Jefferson, who one of these days is going to catch a pass for Cleveland.
Bernie's got to learn that you don't kind of hang it up there. That one could have been fair caught by anybody. 4 of 11 for 67 yards. He's used to throwing the ball in the rain, too. That should be no problem. Out of Miami, they very seldom played a game when it didn't rain.
Young man doing his barking for the Browns.
Bark louder. They need it.
Got that bark juice in him, I think. 2nd and 10 for Cleveland. Newsom. Great play down to the 23-yard line. The Wizard of Oz, they call him. Catches his 3rd pass. On 2nd and 10, he gains 9 yards. He's caught 3 now for 29 yards from.
First half, the Los Angeles Raiders were able to put lots of pressure on Kosar. Second half, he's had plenty of time to throw. This one zinged out there to Newsom. Newsom off his feet, makes the catch. Not enough for a first down, but a very, very big catch. And he can make some big catches for you.
Tremendous hands. He's just a great player, great leader on and off the field. Right now, 3rd and 1. Miner breaks the crust. He's down to the 20, and he has a first down for Cleveland. As now on the shores of Lake Erie, the weather's turned ugly. The temperature dropping. A hard rain has begun to fall, making an already wet field even more difficult to move on. The Browns like it like this.
Now
though.
the adrenaline in the Cleveland Browns, too, are really going at it. This has been a very impressive drive after that turnover. The only turnover of the ball game, and the Browns are going to make good on it.
Big boys from California, Trump, aren't used to this kind of weather. Now's a Raider down on the play. Brad Van Pelt, an outside line. Temperatures dropping, but the action's heating up here in Cleveland. 3:42 to play in the 3rd quarter. The Browns down by 7 with a 1st and 10 at the Raider 20. Driving rain now. Browns go right at the Los Angeles defense for about 3. Inside of the 17-yard line, Biner, the 220-pound fullback, took the ball.
6th play on this drive after the fumble recovery by Tom Cousineau.
Philadelphia getting back in the game at Veterans Stadium against the Cowboys. 3 Paul McFadden field goals. Houston has now extended its lead to a big margin over Cincinnati. And the Browns themselves down by Los Angeles. Yeah, those guys on the right side are doing some blocking. Lilja moved out. Number 62 made a big block. Matt Millen filled to make the hit. On a 2nd and 7 play, the ball was advanced to the 14-yard line, so it's going to bring up 3rd down and a short 5.
Still staying with their game plan, which I admire for the Cleveland Browns.
See Biner's numbers for the day. Came in with over 400 yards in the first 6 games for Cleveland. His running mate Kevin Mack had an average of over 5 yards a carry and 447 yards for the Browns running the ball through 6 games. Raiders primarily, though, with a stunning defensive shutdown, a lot of running plays. Here's a ball into the end zone. Brennan is there, and he can't get to it, and there's no call. They rule that defensive back Sam Seal was looking back at the ball, which he was, so it's a clean play, and Brennan is screened off from the football. That brings up 4th down.
That bump and run by these two teams is outstanding. You see the contact, but both are looking for the football. Therefore, no flag. Bernie likes to throw it deep. There's no question about that.
Matt Barr, the brother of Raider kicker Chris Barr's on the field now. He's made only 3 of 4 this year. Hasn't tried many. This is a 31-yarder. If successful in the rain, it'll bring it to a 14-10 count. Raiders. Looks like he's got it. He does. So with 2 minutes and 1 second to play in the 3rd quarter, the Browns capitalize, move down the field, and they now have come back to within 4, and we'll be back with the Cleveland kickoff after this. Ready to kick it off for Cleveland are Matt Barr's brother. He just hit the 31-yard field goal, did Matt Barr, to bring the Browns back to within 4. Spinner downfield goes to Sam Seal. He's quick. Starting move gets him to the 30-yard line, and there the Raiders go on offense with a 4-point lead and 1:53 to play in the third quarter. Travis Tucker was on the stop. Dallas holding to a 5-point lead over the Eagles at Philadelphia now in the fourth quarter. Could you believe it, at day's end, the defending world champions, the 49ers, could be 3-4 and 4 full games behind the Rams in their division. Los Angeles is winning big at Kansas City right now. Giants beating Washington soundly 17-0. Jesse Hester goes in motion. The give goes to Mark. Raiders Trump talk about their offense. Allen gets the ball almost all the time as a runner. So we really run a 2-back off, but it's a 1-back offense with the second back in just really to block. It functions very much like the 1-back offense.
I don't blame them either. Hawkins is an excellent blocking running back, and Marcus Allen now 18 carries, 64 yards, as many times as you can get it in his hands. That's very smart offense.
Bruce Davis at left tackle lines up. Charlie Hand at left guard. Osbar down over the ball at center, gives it to Wilson on 2nd and 6. Intercepted. Gross has the ball for Cleveland. And finally, Mark Wilson himself gets him down, but it's inside the 15-yard line of the Raiders. So the Browns now down by 4, look to throw, and they sack Kosar back at the 6-yard line. Van Pelt coming from the left outside, a linebacker blitz, and he got Bernie Kosar, the 2nd sack of the day of the Cleveland quarterback.
Here's the interception once again. You see the coverage. We've seen this before. Eddie Johnson bumps him. That ball just thrown, and Christensen seemed to stop in his pattern. Gross right there to make the interception. 2 turnovers today, both for the Cleveland Browns.
Great defensive play call, too, by the Raiders.
And here's the sack, too. It looks like Van Pelt was untouched.
First down. They go to a linebacker blitz, and nobody laid a glove on Van Pelt. Kosar loops it out. Kevin Mack can't get to the ball as Kosar was pressured and released it a little bit short with 38 seconds now in the third quarter clock, and it was Howie Long in the backfield again pressuring Kosar.
He's gotten his hand up in Bernie's face a couple of times. That time tipped the ball again. There was absolutely nothing on the pass. You see just at the end. That's a dying quail. Most difficult pass to catch, and that thing is diving into the ground. There's a missed opportunity to this point for the Cleveland Browns.
That sack was big because it puts the Cleveland Browns, if they don't convert here, into long field goal position, depending what they do. Raiders digging in. There'll be a flying at Bernie Kosar, setting in the shotgun. Give him some time, and he's going to run it himself with a lot of room to go. Kosar is down inside the 15-yard line. He's well short of a first down, but he does make it a sure shot field goal now for Matt Barr.
The only thing is, though, he's got a field goal no matter where he is out there. You got to try to throw the ball in that instance, Don.
That's too long a field goal, though. Into the open end with that wind. Look at that flag. That thing is straight out, blowing in.
But still, that's the field goal kicker's responsibility, not the quarterback. If he throws the ball, it's a lot easier to gain the needed yards than it is for Bernie Kosar to run it.
Now they're going to let the quarter run out, so they'll have that wind at their back. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. Changing ends, will have a strong wind at the back of Matt Barr, who sets up for a 31-yard field goal attempt. If he hits it, Cleveland will be to within 1 of Los Angeles. He got it. Airtight. It's a 14-13 game. Raiders have the ball, and the Browns will kick it off. So the big play by Gross, the interception, does not result in a go-ahead touchdown, but the Browns do come away with points. The sack by Van Pelt was enormous.
Yeah, that was an awful big play. The 2 turnovers now by the Los Angeles Raiders have cost them 2 field goals, which if you're a Raider fan and supporter, at least the Raiders have kept the Cleveland Browns out of the end zone with great field position on both turnovers.
Marty Schott just now completing a first year as head coach of the Cleveland Browns. As of next week, it'll be his 1 year on the job. He took over at the halfway mark a season ago when the Browns were 1-7. stepped in for Sam Rutigliano. They finished 4-4 the rest of the way. Were beaten in overtime their opening game by the St. Louis Cardinals, and the Browns had lost so many close games a season ago. Schottenheimer insisted this is a new year and we're not going to lose close games, and they came back and started to win, winning 4 of their last 5 and 3 in a row to take sole possession of first in their division.
See how much numbers mean nothing. Time of possession clearly in favor of the Cleveland Browns, and the Raiders lead.
Now Matt Barr, who hit consecutive field goals for Cleveland, hits the kickoff downfield and well. Sam Sia will not bring it out. So on offense, 1st and 10 at their 20-yard line. Mark Wilson at quarterback has been effective until that last throw, and he tried to drill it into coverage to his tight end Christensen, and Gross came away with the ball. The Raiders will try to control this ball and pound it at him.
I think they'll pretty much stay with their game plan. Last 2 times they've had the ball, of course, they've turned it over to the Cleveland Browns, but you can't go away from your game plan. Momentum now on the side of the Cleveland Browns.
Marcus Allen gets his number called, and the Browns really fire out on defense. Golick, the nose tackle, led the charge along with linebacker Eddie Johnson.
Browns defense, them dogs are now fired up, barking loud. This
they actually bark in the defensive huddle, don't
yes, they do. They, as opposed to saying they bark. I guess 1 is a good job, 2 is a spectacular job. I'm not sure what the conversation's like down there.
Sometimes you'd be inclined to think that a grown man barking might not be a well man, but
defensive player in the last 2 possessions by the Raiders.
It was grounding, but now intentional grounding call is going to be signaled against Wilson and the Raiders. And now let's go back to NFL.
The most expensive penalty an offense can cost you yards and the down.
That it was surely intentional grounding. Wilson was going to be sacked, and he just released the ball to a wide open area of the field. He hit green, but there wasn't a receiver near it.
The reason it took the official a long time before he throws the flag is the referee is back there to protect the quarterback first. He looks for the late hit, then he looks for the intentional grounding.
Marcus Allen is the engine that drives the Raider offense, and he's only got 4 yards in his last 6 carries. Hits a long spiral downfield. Brian Brennan goes back in the rain, fields the ball. Light rain now, and he's down at his 48-yard line. 37-yard punt by Ray Guy, and just a 2-yard return as a new Raider. Jerry Robinson was down to cover. Stadium, a place to be this Sunday afternoon as the Browns trail the Raiders 14-13 with 13:06 to play in the game. Cleveland with the ball, and to the run on first down goes the fullback, 5'10", 215-pound Ernest Biner, who's knocked down by Matt Millen.
This is the 3rd straight drive now that the Cleveland Browns have started inside the 50-yard line. Previous 2, of course, just 6 field goals.
Raiders have done a good job, Trump, shutting down the run. Biner and Mack working hard to share 80 yards, 81 yards. Biner has 40 and Mack has 41 in a combined 27 carries. Kevin Mack runs the ball. Nice stutter step, then accelerating into the gap. Lyle Alzado made the tackle for the Raiders, but it brings up 3rd down and 4 for Cleveland.
That was a short trap by the Browns. Mack did an outstanding job of waiting for that was that stutter step.
Giants continue to lead over the Redskins. The LA Rams looking to extend their mark to 7-0. Houston's going to get its 2nd win after an opening day upset of Miami. Detroit now their lead cut to just 2 over the 49ers. And Atlanta looking like they might win a first game, and so might Buffalo. The Browns on third and a long four really, as Kosar sets up in the shotgun. They give him time. Almost picked off by Sam Seal. He's a former wide receiver, Seal. The Browns can't move it down, so they have to punt the ball back to Los Angeles with 11:38 to play. Intended receiver was Clarence Weathers of the Browns.
Kind of appeared he tried to force that one. There was coverage all over Clarence Weathers. Fourth straight incompletion by Bernie Kosar. His numbers not very impressive today.
Running the ball, the key to winning for Cleveland in the last 16 games, and they've rushed 36 or more times. They've compiled a 14-2 record. Well hit ball by Gossett, angling it near sideline, and he gets it out of bounds. We'll see where. Going to spot it at the 11. A little farther upfield now. They keep walking. They bring it to the 13-yard line. A 30-yard punt, but placed out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. So the silver and black come back out with a 1-point lead and 11:30 to play in the game. But at the end of the day, it might be good enough to win what he's doing.
He's your quarterback for the Cleveland Browns ball game. You can't make a change now with just 11:30 to go in the fourth quarter. It's up to the Browns defense.
Marcus tries the left side, and there's not much there as he's knocked down at about the 15-yard line. Marcus Allen still hauling that skin. Browns still pounding at him. As you see, they've been shutting him down. They really shut down. Just like pass offense starts with pass blocking, run offense starts with run blocking, and the Cleveland front, particularly those very active, quick linebackers, have been shut down.
This is Cleveland defense's game right now. From here on out, they got to stop the Raiders. Give the Cleveland offense as much good field position as they can.
Long ball. They're looking at Jesse Hester, but he can't quite get there. Mark Wilson throws a beautiful long ball. That's a pure spiral heading down the field, and maybe a yard long for Jesse Hester, a flyer out of Florida State, the Raiders' #1 draft choice.
And for Dixon on the coverage, one of the advantages that Wilson has, he's got to be the tallest quarterback in the NFL at almost 6'7". He's listed at 6'6", but about 6'6 and a half.
As you know, Trump, the Raiders bear watching in the fourth quarter. Last year they led the NFL in fourth quarter scoring. This season the fourth quarter has been their highest scoring period again. They can play beat the clock. They're holding to a 1-point lead right now are the Raiders. 14-13. Big rush. And Allen can't quite hold on at the 27-yard line.
Thrown behind him.
Man is sure-handed Brian Brennan. Caught 66 passes from Flutie as a senior at Boston College. Flutie was a junior. Here's a long hit downfield. Brennan fair catching at the 48. Browns with good field position after a 37-yard punt. It is a doubleheader day. Cleveland coming back with consecutive Matt Barr field goals to cut it to 1. Ahead for gain out to the 50-yard line. Picked up 5. He's got a great ability, Trump, to wait for his blockers. He's not in a hurry.
Yeah, that's something you can't teach either. You either have that coming to the game or you never seem to really acquire it. I guarantee you Marcus Allen has it. Last series of downs for the Cleveland Browns, 3 plays and out. That was a pickup of about a yard.
So young Bernie Kosar, he's only 21 years old, from nearby Boardman, Ohio. Grew up always wanting to play for the Browns. 2nd and 9. Foul. Definite foul on Mike Davis. His second against him. No question.
That's at least the 4th flag on the defensive backs of the Los Angeles Raiders today. Davis knows it too. He has no argument whatsoever.
That's a first down.
10:28 to play. We've still a long way to go.
The receiver does an excellent job of just being big in this situation, realizing the defensive back's got to go through him to make the catch. It was Brian Brennan, who can't be too big no matter how tall he stands. Look at that. What a difference.
It hurts. So the Browns get a first down, trailing by 1 in the fourth quarter. More markers as the carry by Kevin Mack is down to the 40-yard line of Los Angeles.
Now that's one of the things that Bernie Kosar can do to really help his offense. Vary the cadence enough to draw some people off sides, and that's exactly what he did. It'll be 1st and 5 for the Cleveland Browns. That's a learned art too.
Defense 75, offside.
11th penalty
5
of the
yards
day.
and first down.
So the Raiders falling back now with the yellow flags thrown against them, and now the ball is set down at the 38-yard line of Los Angeles. 37-yard line where they place it. And there Cleveland will go 1st down and 5. So Bernie Kosar afforded the luxury of a play call you rarely get. 1st and 5. Slam bang Ernest Biner. Shortest distance between 2 points, and Ernest takes it on a straight ahead slash. Rookie linebacker Reggie McKenzie, 54 for the Raiders, made the hit.
I don't blame the Browns for being very conservative in this situation.
A lot of clock left, though, as you see it wind down to 10 minutes in the 4th quarter. Raiders leading 14-13. They led at halftime 14-7. Only scoring in the second half has been a pair of field goals for the Browns, one in the 3rd quarter, one in the 4th.
Got to hurry. 5 seconds left on the clock, and Bernie takes timeout.
Is going with that foul weather gear. This is no day at the beach in Southern California. Right now the Raiders under pressure, but they hold to a 1-point lead in the 4th quarter. It's 14-13. Biner runs the ball. Browns conservative in their offense on a 2nd down and long 2 call. They go down close to a 1st down.
I think Schottenheimer and Flores were teammates, weren't they?
They were for a year. 68.
1968. I imagine both appreciate where they are now as compared to then.
Didn't have a great year, but it worked out well. That was the year the juice came in the next year.
Ah, yes.
1-13. Giants, after 2 straight losses, disappointing ones, and back now to beat this Redskins today, 17-13. 17-3, excuse me.
3rd down and short for the Cleveland Browns.
Margin of victory can make a difference.
Yes, it can. This Cleveland offense has struggled for most of the day. You take away the pass interference penalties by the Los Angeles Raiders. They've had a lot of drives stopped. Raiders have helped them a great deal.
That really has hurt. Series of penalties against Los Angeles. Some of the penalties you almost have to take, though, Trump. Ozzie Newsome gets open. He'd been going a long way if Davis hadn't tackled.
That's true. And this team, the Los Angeles Raiders, they don't mind taking those penalties.
Johnny Davis, a power back, is in. He's the up back. 2nd back through is Biner, and he's ahead. It looks like for a Brown 1st down. The rain has stopped here in Cleveland. It rained very hard for a while during the game. Rained 2 inches yesterday. Field soggy. Browns power the ball. It wasn't easy. You'll recall this was a 1st and 5 drive. This series of downs took them 3 hard runs to get that 5 yards, and so they're down to the 32-yard line. Marty Schottenheimer, well, a place kicker, is very accurate short, but Matt Barr's not a long-range bomber. 8:58 to play. Cleveland content to run the clock down as they try to control the ball. Kosar still 5 for 15 throwing. Dumps it off. Great play. Biner is inside the 20. Biner's out of bounds at the 13-yard line.
Same play they've run with regularity. A little half roll by Bernie. He's got good protection there. Miner uncovered for about the 3rd time. That was the play they ran in the 1st half that was called back. And watch Ozzie Newsome. You want to see a block? First of all, he has trouble getting away from Mike Davis, but watch this block. He gets Biner another few yards. Davis on the ground.
Now the Browns with 1st down. Mack wisely puts 2 arms on the ball. Biner did not do, and those Raiders know how to put their helmet on the football and take it away. He holds on, gets a little bit, but he gets it straight ahead, and so the Browns are straight away at a field goal attempt. with still 3 more downs coming on this sequence with 8:23 and running in the 4th quarter, and the Raiders in the lead 14-13. Matt Barr, he kicked on a Super Bowl championship team at Pittsburgh. John Jefferson in. He's on the flank, moving in motion to their side. 2nd and 8. Finer. He's down to the 6-yard line. He'll be short of a first down. It'll bring up 3rd and about 3.
Ran right through the tackle of Mike Haynes, number 22 of the Los Angeles Raiders.
Strong safety Mike Davis made the tackle for the Raiders. And the game clock ticks down on what is now turning into a cold day in Cleveland. It's down to 7:35 and running in the 4th quarter.
Good block by Matt Pelt. Now watch, trying to run right through the tackle of Mike Haynes. Good enough for a pickup of about 5 yards.
Those are the numbers. Brown soon to go over 100 yards rushing. Took a lot of carries by 2 backs to do it, though. Kosar dumps it off, and they're going in. Kevin Mack, touchdown, and the Browns take the lead. We might be hitting new highs on the decibel count here in Cleveland as 80,000 is the roof of this old stadium on the shores of Lake Erie. A 7-yard touchdown play. Extra point is good. 7:07 to go in the game, and now the Raiders find themselves behind for the first time in the game. They trail 20-14. Now the Browns kick it off. Sam Seal sees the ball go in and go out of bounds before they got to the end zone. Now it's a touchback. It comes out to the 20. So the Raiders needing a touchdown have yards of real estate down to the Cleveland goal line is Bernie Kosar, who wouldn't get nervous if the building was on fire. An amazing guy.
You know, Don, one of the signs of an excellent team is a team that doesn't play particularly well still comes up with the winning numbers on the board. Offensively, the Cleveland Browns have not done anything outstanding. They've run 1 play that's gained him a majority of yards. Got a lot of penalties against the Raiders, and they lead. Team of character.
But the Raiders are, they can play beat the clock better than anybody. They've got time now. Throw and a completion. Christensen takes the ball to the 24-yard line. A 20-14 game. The Browns in the lead for the first time with the clock running and 6:50 as you see to play. Hanford Dixon made the stop. There it is. The Philadelphia Eagles score late in the game. Jaworski threw to Kenny Jackson, a 36-yard touchdown pass play that brought the Eagles from behind. The Rams with a shutout go to 7-0. Perfect record. The Bears will try to equal that when they play Green Bay tomorrow night at Soldier Field. Stuffed on a 2nd and 5 play as Carl Hairston and Tom Cousineau.
Look at him bark.
You're in Cleveland. If you're joining us late, they have a group called the Dog Backers. Defense is the dogs. The defense barks, and the defensive bark in the stands. For a while, there wasn't a whole lot of barking. Games change on 1 play, and that was certainly the case here. The Raiders had a 14-7 lead and were moving the ball well when a pitchback to Marcus Allen was fumbled. That was in the 3rd quarter. Subsequently, the Browns turned it into a Matt Barr field goal to get back to within 14-10. Then another Matt Barr field goal made it 14-13, and then the Browns took it down the field, aided by some penalty calls against Los Angeles, and finally on a 7-yard swing pass, Kevin Mack took the ball and ran in for the go-ahead touchdown. Big play for the Raiders. It's 3rd down and almost 5. The Browns defense holds. with 5:35 to play. 4th down arises for Los Angeles. I think these guys didn't want this game. Well, they don't have it yet.
Intended for Todd Christensen, but 4 guys tipped it. Just enough pressure on Wilson that he had to throw it when he did. He has tried very hard to get that ball into Todd Christensen.
Ray Guy to punt the ball. A long punt. Brennan back at his 29. Oh! It's Cleveland's ball.
Woo!
Caught Mr. Brennan right square in a face mask.
That's a friendly bounce. If he gets the ball out of bounds, at least the Raiders can't recover it, which he does.
Great second look. Our producer for NBC Sports Today is Kenneth Roy Edmondson. Our director Richard Klein. As right now we have 5:20 to play in the game. The Cleveland Browns are holding to a 20-14 lead. Kosar's numbers aren't Hall of Fame, but the end result is just what they like.
Flags down, Don.
Ended up losing yard play as the ball is back at the 25-yard line. A 7-yard loss on the play.
Holding Cleveland.
Offense holding 61. Decline of penalty. 2nd down.
You got the center Mike Babb. But the Raiders will take the play with a loss where they spotted of 8 yards all the way back to the 25-yard line. So now it's a long yardage play for Kosar and the Cleveland Browns. Lyle Alzado spent 3 years here in Cleveland after his years at Denver. They traded him to the Raiders for an 8th choice, and Alzado said that was the biggest motivator. They only thought I was worth a number 8. Sean Jones into pass rush now on 2nd and long. 2nd and 18. Kevin Mack takes the ball to the 29-yard line. Matt Millen knocked him down on the play. Raiders looking to get it back now as the game clock keeps it ticking down. 4:35 left to play. It's clearing up somewhat in Cleveland. No threat of rain right now. The lights are on.
If I were Cleveland, I think I'd run this, not take a chance with a turnover, and hope Mr. Gossett gets off his best punt of the day. Turn it back into the hands of my defense.
Good point. Defense is what wins games for the Cleveland Browns. And it's gotten stronger as this game's go on. They do indeed go to the run. Mack takes the ball. He lost it for a moment. Raiders think they have it. Official says no.
He got really nailed.
Let's look at that again. Mikel, as you can see, is exercised.
Watch once again. Kevin Mack on the carry. He's the sure-handed ball carrier for the Cleveland Browns. Watch the hit, and you see the ball. Whoa, wait a minute. He was still up. He was still up.
The Raiders pull this one out. It won't because they got a lot of breaks. Gossett hits his best punt of the day indeed. Fulton Walker back at his 13. The blockers form to the left side, and he gets some room to run, and Fulton Walker is out to the 25, but what do we see?
A flag back at the spot where the ball was punted.
54-yard, 15-yard return.
The flag is against Cleveland, though. They're going to make him kick it again?
For sure.
Offense 88, holding, 10-yard penalty, and 4th down.
You know, Don, that carry by Kevin Mack, I think that was a fumble and a recovery by the Los Angeles Raiders. The ground cannot cause a fumble, but in the NFL, they don't count knees down.
Look to you on the replay. He definitely lost.
Yeah, it looks like the ball was loose. Watch again. We can slow it down, Dick Klein, just as he is about to get hit. About right now, he's got both hands on the football. Let's see if we can see. That ball is loose. That ball is loose.
He had a knee down too with a man on him.
Well, but they're going to mark it where he goes down completely. That's a tough call.
Fulton Walker, the leading punt return man in the American Conference. The second punt try on this sequence now from Jeff Gossett of Cleveland, who had a bad first half. It's begun to hit the ball well. It'll come back.
Oh, they got a chance, Don.
Great blocks. Look at this. Inside the 40 and down to the 35-yard line, and a penalty marker down against, it would seem, Los Angeles on the return. A 38-yard punt, but Fulton Walker brought it back 31 yards, but a lot of that's going to come back. Jeff Gossett was the man who came over and made the hit. So the game clock now is stopped with 2 minutes and 53 seconds to play. The Cleveland Browns are in the lead 20-14. Last score of the game was the first time the Browns have led all day. They trailed 7-0. Time about it clearing up.
I don't remember.
That was me. Here's a 1st and 10 play. A throw by Wilson. A catch down to the 49. Penalty marker down. I think this time they're going to call Hanford Dixon on the far side against. And the Raiders were denied points. Now they go 1st and 10. Wilson throws. The ball is caught at the 39-yard line. Eddie Johnson was the man who hit Jesse Hester, the rookie. Has a gain of almost 10 yards. It is a 10-yard gain where they spot.
They've changed that pattern.
Hawkins runs, and he gets a first down for the Raiders down to the 37-yard line. Cousineau makes the stop. And the game clock will now wind down to 2 minutes to play. So it's going to be fun down the stretch run of the game. The Raiders driving and trailing by 6. We'll be back. On either side, good people. They're in position. They won't gamble a lot. Here's a blitz. Raider throw, and it's incomplete. Don Rogers almost had the ball. On first down, Rogers making a diving play at the ball. The second-year man from New
Intended for Marcus Allen out of the backfield. Good coverage by the Cleveland Browns. Wilson tries to put this right in between the two defensive players. Almost picked off by Rogers. When you throw it in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, you're taking a chance.
AFC Defensive Rookie of the Year. Now 2nd down and 10 for the Raiders. They trail by 6 with less than 2 minutes to play. Penalty marker as the strike is made to Christensen down to the 28-yard line. Looks to be just short of a first down. We'll see where they spot it.
I think they got Frank Minifield lining up off sides.
They'll take the play then. 2nd down and 10. It looks like the ball is just short of a first down. If they go with the play, it'll be 3rd down and less than a yard.
Oh, they call it against the Raiders. Minifield looked like he was lined up off sides, trying to really get up there in the receiver's face.
Illegal motion number 85. 5 yards and 2nd down.
That's
Dokie Williams.
And that's where Frank Minifield was. Minifield was so tight on him. Dokie got a little antsy there.
I'll tell you, we got a full house, almost 80,000 here, and nary a party is left yet. We're going down to the final gun, it looks like. 1:47 to play. Raiders down by 6. 2nd and 15. Wilson arcs the ball to Marcus Allen. It's incomplete at the 24-yard line. Now while they realign, let's go to Ahmad Rashad at NFL 85. You sure did. You taught him real well, and that's the old trapper Bud Grant's got those guys back on track, doesn't he? Up in
You
Minnesota?
got that right. Once again, watch this play. Great coverage by Banks. He's not looking back, but there doesn't appear to be any contact on Marcus Allen before the ball gets there. Banks, one of the few players who could cover a running back out of the backfield.
Now the only cheers the Raiders hear from their sideline. A very wise thing to do.
Yes.
3rd and 15. Oh, it's good for a first down. The Raiders get the first down to the 25-yard line. Mark Wilson under pressure guns a line drive throw in just off the turf. Doki Williams goes to both knees to take it in. A 17-yard gain, and the Raider drive is alive. 1:20 to play. Trail by 6.
Wilson was in the grasp, but Chip Banks, he had hold of one of his feet, still got the pass off.
The Raiders, the masters at playing beat the clock. Try to do it again. Marcus Allen takes it inside, and he's down to the 13-yard line. As the game clock is down to 1:02, the Raiders call timeout. They have one left. They have to get in the end zone. First down. Oh! Had it, and Hester lost it. Levels come down a little bit. Broken up. Hanford Dixon broke up the play to Marcus
Here right now.
Boy, this is really tough for the Raiders, trying to call signals as that heavy noise picks up again. Right in the face of Mark Wilson, but he's going to go on 3rd and 10. Incomplete inside the 5, a penalty marker.
1st and 5.
It'll be 1st and goal from inside the 5-yard line for the LA Raiders. It looks like 48 seconds to play. Have it 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line. Would have been intercepted, but Hanford Dixon on the wet turf lost his footing going for the ball as Wilson looks like another blitz is coming.
It is.
Wilson stands, he throws, it's knocked down and again almost picked for Dixon. Now 3rd down arises. They're trying to beat him in that slant pattern again that the ball was dropped off earlier. And now 3rd down and goal now for the Raiders. They trail 20-14. Broken up by Hanford Dixon. Doki Williams was the man they were going to, but Hanford Dixon has made 3 consecutive plays now after he was beat, but not burned when the ball was 13-0 over the last 2 quarters. And with 34 seconds left to play, it's 4th down and goal for the Raiders. This is it. It's caught for a touchdown. There's a penalty marker down also. They did go to Christensen, and he gets the ball. Todd Christensen catches the ball off the turf. It's a touchdown and also a penalty call on the play. The touchdown will go, and the greatest team in football at beating the clock. The LA Raiders make it happen with 29 seconds to play, a game they were seemingly out of.
On a defense, decline the penalty. The touchdown is good. 15 yards on the kickoff for throwing a helmet.
Chris Barr ready to try the point after that'll break a 20-20 tie. He gets it, and the Raiders lead with 29 seconds to play. Another helmet is fired down on the field, this time by Minifield, and another flag is thrown.
This has got to be spectacular.
It's set, hits it, he knocks it out. So it'll carry into the cheap seats. One of the dogs makes a play on the ball. But over there, Gosar stands in. So look, throws on the run, he gets Ozzie Newsome. He's out to the 40. Again, the Browns stack the deck, this time near side as Kosar against a 3-man rush stands. Fires over the middle. It's incomplete at the 45-yard line. John Jefferson claims foul, but no. Bar was good, and the Raiders have a 1-point lead. Kosar loops one out. Biner has the ball, heading for the sidelines. He gets out at midfield. 7 seconds is all that remains, though. Brigham Young connection combining on that last score. Incomplete. Too long for a field goal attempt. Swing pass going out of bounds. Oh, they're going to get. They're over. The game is out. They were trying to get ready for a long field goal attempt. Try to get another playoff inside of 4 seconds, and they couldn't do it. And so the Raiders extend their win streak to 4 straight. A